What if your high-level platform actually worked for you instead of against you? What if every time something broke, slowed down, or made zero sense, you had someone in your corner who could not only fix it, but teach you exactly how it happened? That's exactly what Tom Bristol, our founder of the Marketer's Toolkit, has built his entire career around. The Chrome extension and customization suite that thousands of high-level agencies rely on every single day to white label, automate, and scale their platform without losing their minds in the process. He is the guy behind the quick editor, the customizer, the theme builder, the OG of building a theme on HighLevel. The tools that make your SaaS look polished, run smoothly, and actually do what you promised your clients it would do. And today, Tom is going behind the scenes and sharing what to do when HighLevel breaks, plus brand new features that are going to change the game for your agency. So if you run a SaaS on GHL or you want to know what's going on, how to do better with your HighLevel and understand it better, you're going to want to take notes here. Without further ado, here is the interview with Tom Bristol, our founder and CEO of the Marketer's Toolkit. So what happens when GHL, your app, starts to slow down or break? This is what happened to mine today, and I took it to support and told them that things were not happening the way they needed to be happening. And they told me that it was my CSS and JavaScript. Well, I took it down, I broke it apart, and it was still doing it, but they still were convinced that it was the CSS and JavaScript. So I took this to Tom today, and we figured out that it was actually GHL, and he was able to solve the issue for me. He's done this for many, many clients in the past. And so we're going to talk today to Tom about what his tips are when things start slowing down and breaking in the system. Because as you know, HL is constantly updating and improving the system. And with those updates and with those improvements comes the bad part too, which is things slow down and break. Right. And so we're going to talk about those tips today. We're also going to be talking about new features that are in your marketer's toolkit. And lastly, we're going to talk about what's coming. So welcome, Tom. I'm excited to have you back on the show. So tell us what your thoughts are on the slowdowns and breakdowns in HighLevel.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things to think with. HighLevel is such a large app and has so many features that their support personnel don't even know everything about it. And I think I think they're up to over 1,000 developers, right? So everybody's working on all different parts of the app. They're kind of disconnected. It's great for how fast they're moving and building stuff, but it creates a sort of a rocky road here. Now, I'll tell you a little bit of a couple of stories here of what happened actually yesterday and today, because there's probably 4 or 5 instances, all separate things. And there's something about the last couple days that made it happen. It's not normally like this, but anyway, so number one, what happens is the number one problem with HighLevel slowing down is they have had bad memory utilization in the past. And the quick editor, you always hear clear your cache, right? So clearing your cache tends to, what it does is it wipes out your user authentication system and helps you clear out the memory that you've got going. So the way to do this is to go to your Chrome system settings, go to application, and then clear the local storage data, and then close it, and then open it again. And I'm giving this really quickly. I understand that most people won't know how to do that. If you have the quick editor, there's a quick button, and we'll go over what the quick editor is later. It's a Chrome extension that you get with the toolkit that all of your users get, but there's a quick button in there that does all of this for you and wipes it out. So, but what's crazy though is, so all of these things that happened just recently were completely disrelated to the toolkit. They were completely disrelated to, even like you couldn't have done that little shortcut to fix it. So I think what happened was there were 2 scripts to blame, and I don't want to call them out specifically, but one of them was a third-party app that was made by a developer. He was selling it for $50, and it did some pretty cool things, but it was vibe coded, and vibe code is okay. But when you're dealing with an application like HighLevel that is so big and has so many pieces, it's kind of tricky to get it very right with the vibe code, and it'll work. It'll work for what you're testing, but you're not going to be thinking with like 5 other areas that it might actually mess something up or slow it down. So that's what happened with one of them. And there was another one, which was from a major theme provider. I'm not going to name names again, but it was a major, it was used by a lot of people. They use the customizer and they use this system, and either they released something or HighLevel changed something that their script wasn't ready for. And basically it overloaded people's browsers. And because it was used by so many people, it was actually being reported, like it went down the chain. So HighLevel support had it as their standard reply whenever they got a bug report. They were replying, and this was to the priority support people, like on their Slack channel. I got a couple people that messaged me and they said, HighLevel priority support said that this problem is coming from custom JavaScript and it's coming from this theme provider. And could this have anything to do with the toolkit? And so I jumped in and I looked at it, and he's like, because I don't have that theme provider, and they're telling me that my problem is coming from this theme provider. And so it has to be like, they're saying it has to be custom JavaScript. And we looked into it, and it was 100% just a native HighLevel glitch, like something that they later, like, so I dug into his thing. I spent some time on it, and then later that night he was like, yeah, they came back to me and they said it was, it's their problem. I'm like, I know it's their problem.
Huh?
And I'm telling you a few disjointed stories, but yeah, so that theme provider fixed their thing. But what was so great is that I was able to isolate the exact problem, and we posted it for our members so that they knew how to fix the problem from that theme provider if they were using both of those, like our stuff and theirs, how to like make it patch it. So I actually very much welcome, if you have a slow with HighLevel, message me and send me, better yet, to send it through a support ticket with a,
Yeah.
a
You
loom to
always
that.
recommend going through the support ticket because then you have a linear way of being able to boom, boom,
Yes.
boom, 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 because you can't always check your messages. And so
Yeah.
getting that linear, and also it helps you check things off because you can forget what's in messages. So,
Yeah. And having it as a support ticket, I can delegate it to some of my
right.
developers.
So it gets
If it's,
done faster.
yeah. And also like a lot of the time, like I handle some things, but Mahyman handles other things, and Benedict handles other types of things. And so if it's not in a support ticket, I can't give it to the right person that owns that area.
Right. Right. That
So,
totally makes sense.
and I want them to be able to see, okay, so these are the types of things that are coming through. Even if I do end up handling it, it's something that, they need to be aware of, that this is happening so they can
Yes,
improve.
yes. And I just want to plug in here that it is made through the years that I've been with the Marketer's Toolkit. It's made such a difference for me that the Marketer's Toolkit has been there for us and my
Yeah.
SaaS beyond what is Marketer's Toolkit.
Thank you.
It just has been so supportive to my business, and I just thank you so much for
Thank
what you
you.
do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, like I get the number of, like, I'm happy to help people with just general HighLevel problems as well, right? So like the number of times that I'll jump in and be like, they're like, is this, this is a toolkit, like I can't get this thing to work. And I look and I'm, no, that's a native thing, but this is how you fix it.
It's just
And
such
all
a
that sort of
fringe
stuff.
benefit of being in the Marketer's Toolkit family or,
Thank you. Yeah.
it just it's so cool. So
Yeah.
so if we're in that circumstance and we have something that breaks down or something, there are ways that we can go in and test it first to see if it is
Right.
happening with our specifically in conjunction with our customizer. Can you share with us how
Sure.
that
Yeah.
is?
So the first way of doing it is, if you have the customizer running, we have this area right here called the Toolkit Super Admin. There's a lot of cool things in this, but the primary use of it has always been to troubleshoot and to figure out what's happening. So it tells you what location you're in, if you're connected to a SaaS plan, what snapshots are on here, all sorts of good diagnostic data. But we also have a troubleshooting area where you can disable the customizer and remove your custom CSS. So if you're dealing with like a visual issue where you're trying to see, okay, is the customizer hiding something, or is my custom CSS messing something up? You can actually just remove the CSS directly from this system right here. And then if you click the disable customizer and CSS on reload, it adds in this disable and CSS up here at the very top, which then makes it so that the customizer doesn't run and it removes the CSS. Now, this does not disable other JavaScript. So unfortunately, it doesn't work for isolating things like other theme providers, or if you have like a agency support system, contact support, customer support system, or anything like that. If their scripts are messing up, then it's not going to isolate that. I have some proprietary, extensions that I've created that help me to do this, and I've not really released these yet. I might in the future, but right now they're proprietary company tools. But the way to really sort of isolate this for yourself, is realize that JavaScript and CSS stay in your browser when you load it. So the way I would do this is, if I was going to try and say, is this custom JavaScript causing a problem? I would open up two browsers, and I would go to the page with the problem, and I would load it up and be okay, here, so this has the problem. Here we go. So like, we're going to load this up right here. I know that this has the problem. Okay, good. So now I'll remove this, and it's sort of like a quick, back and forth to just check it. So I would just remove the custom JavaScript, hit save, and then I would go over here and I would hit refresh. And as soon as it loads, I'd come back here, restore the JavaScript, and hit save. And so now it's kind of like, if I did that so fast, my users probably won't have like loaded the app
Yes,
like 10
that's smart.
seconds.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, so it is loading without the JavaScript and the CSS. And then I would just come in here, put these back, and then your users never see it, because the chances of someone loading their HighLevel, logging in that 10-second period, is very little. So now you've got a browser with no JavaScript, and now you can go and poke around and go, oh, look, this is how it is without. So that's my trick for getting that to work there.
That's really good. That is so helpful. Awesome. Awesome. So if you have issues, this is the way that you can go in and test yourself. If you're still having issues and you've gone to support to HighLevel and you're hitting brick walls and you have the toolkit, go to support and ask us, and Tom and his team will help.
Yes, you got it. You got it.
Awesome. So next up, we want to talk about all the new things that are happening. And we have a list of them. So this is going to be like a part 1, part 2, part 3 of the new things that are coming out. Let's talk about webhooks in the customizer. Before, we had where to hook your location groups up, you would do either a SaaS plan or location IDs. You could match up with Google Sheets, which I have done in the past and made different plans hook up.
Yeah. So the overall idea is, the background idea is the customizer and the theme builder allow you to apply your customizations, your menu items, your custom menu items, all of the things that you're hiding and renaming, your buttons. You can group all of those customizations to specific groups of locations. And so you can say, everybody that's in my premium SaaS plan gets this menu set up, and they see the premium menu items. And everybody that's in the basic plan only sees, conversations and social media. But the premium sees the AI Studio, they see all the other things because that's what they purchased. And so the problem has always been, if you're not using the SaaS configurator, then how do we make it so that you can do something similar to that, right? So if you're on the $297 plan and you don't have access to the SaaS configurator. You can still use the customizer to sort of like automate some of this. And the way that we used to do that was we would make it so that you would create a Google Sheet, and HighLevel has these actions inside of workflows where you can update a Google Sheet with the location ID. And so when someone signed up, you could sort of update that Google Sheet with the location ID, and it worked. But I was trying to build that for someone recently, and I found it was not as intuitive as you would expect. And I really wanted to restructure the back end of the customizer for quite a while. And so I took that opportunity to revamp the back end of the customizer to make it so that we could add some more functionality into it that you could use with these automations. And so now we have the customizer is set up, and I'll show you a little preview of what it looks like here in a second. But the customizer is set up so that you can take a you can take a workflow. Someone signs up, either they purchase, a new plan, or they purchase a menu item. We can make it so that they can like unlock a specific menu item, and then it can communicate directly to the customizer. It doesn't have to go through a Google Sheet or anything like that. And yeah, so I'm really excited about it. I haven't created a training video. That's my problem. That's like my
Well,
the thing.
show us
I got-
now. Maybe this
yeah,
is the training
look,
video, right?
yeah, exactly. So here, let me share my screen here.
This is going to take everything to the next level, I think,
Yep.
because there's so many times when I want to do just like simple add-ons for clients. Like maybe they don't have the affiliate manager, just adding the affiliate manager to their sidebar menu, just adding like one little thing. And through webhooks, it just seems like it will be so much easier.
Yeah, exactly. So here, the old view of the customizer was this, and this is an old view. A lot of people have gotten over how to find everything in this, and I personally don't find it very intuitive. But we have so many people using the system, they know how to use it, so we've kept the old view there. This is a new view, and I really like it. I've tried to make it as intuitive as possible, right? So you've got your menu items that you're adding here on the left. These are your hiding and editing on the right, and things like that. The area that we're talking about is location groups. So if we go to the managed location groups, you can see what you've got for which locations are in which groups and what those how things are grouped basically. This is the cool new area. So this is the webhook area. And what you'll do is you'll literally just copy the webhook. It looks like it's failing probably because of the way I've got this set up, but you can always just grab it right here and copy it like this. And you'll use that data and give that to the HighLevel workflow AI, because the HighLevel workflow AI is so good these days. This is where I need to create that video, but this does give everything that you need so that you can give it to the workflow AI and it will build the right action for you. And when someone comes through that workflow, they'll just automatically get added to that location group. And we've got two things that you can do with these location groups or with these webhooks. You can unlock individual menu items, or you can put them into overall location group that has its own menu items and buttons and things like that. So yeah, I know I need to give a full walkthrough with like an example of here's a workflow, and this is an example, like here's a form, then it goes into this workflow, and then we go through the thing. This is how you get the location ID, and then this is where it fires into the webhook, and then it gets added in there and give you a sort of like a real life example. But this is what we're now opened up to do. And I actually built this so that you could automate for someone so that they could automate their themes. And so if we look at here, if we go to the theme builder, we've talked about this a couple of times, but the theme builder has the ability to connect to your customizer. So by connecting it to your customizer, you have all of those groups of customizations, and now you can have a different theme for each one of your groups of locations. And so by doing this, we were setting it up so that someone could fill out a form and select which group, which theme they were going to get there. So
Oh, that's great.
that was the purpose of the webhook transition for this particular client that we were doing. But I know that it's used by so many people. So I know that people will
Yes.
definitely appreciate this.
And how you described the webhooks and the way that it works, it seems pretty straightforward. I'm excited to go in and
Yeah.
do it myself. And I think a lot of people are going to be able to find this very, very useful.
Yeah,
And
I'm excited about doing a video because it's going to be easy. I've been tutorial videos have been hard in the past because when I start to do the video, I go, oh, wait, I have to build this first. And then I'll start to do the video. And I'm like, oh, wait, I have to do this first. And
I
then it takes
know
a
it.
day to make the tutorial video. But things are becoming a lot more simple. And so I'm pretty excited about building this out now because it's going to be a pretty simple thing. So it shouldn't take that long.
Awesome. Awesome. So you had mentioned earlier Quick Editor
Yes.
and you were going to talk about some of the updates to Quick Editor. And also there's a big thing that you've added to Quick Editor, but it's like more than it's really for agencies, right?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So first talk to us about Quick Editor and the updates you've made.
Sure, let me install it real quick. But might as well share my screen and show you how this works when I install it too. So here we go. Okay, so if you've been on our homepage, this is the extension that we're talking about, the high-level extension that you give to every user. And we walk through all the things, but we don't mention the word quick editor on the page because this is supposed to be sort of gray labeled to your white label. And it's kind of like the lead connector name that HighLevel has. And so we have a page dedicated to the quick editor, and it just says your CRM platform. And it doesn't have any purchase or anything like that in it, but it does sort of describe the features. So it does look like a professional thing. You come over here to add your extension, and then you can pin it. So it does require a license key, and that license key is locked to your white label. So right here it says licensed software, and that's our white label here. The cool thing about the quick editor, what the whole purpose of it is to give you a quick way to edit your website or to edit the contact forms that are on the page directly. And you can actually even see things like your tracking codes and stuff like that. So it gives you a lot of tools. We've recently made some changes to it to give you tools for the new vibe code era. And things like making screenshots is so important when you're communicating to AI to be able to be like, change this or, mark it up and copy it. And I personally find problems with the native system screenshot systems where like your Mac doesn't do the thing or your Windows has like a weird delay, but this quick editor is really fast, and I really encourage you to have your users use it to improve their workflow. So you can mobile preview it, you can scan it, pull it up on your phone. You can download all the images or just what images you want from the page. So you don't have to go through and find the image, right click on it, make sure that that's the one that you want to give to AI as your inspiration when you're, copying or getting an inspiration of a website. This is the clear cache that I've been talking about. So if you're in your CRM, it's slow, you want to, clear cache, you don't have to hunt through the settings. You just click clear cache and reload.
That in itself is a reason to tell
Yeah.
all of your sub accounts to get the quick editor and put it on their, like when you're troubleshooting with them, get the quick editor immediately on their browser. So that way they can clear their cache and you don't have to go through the rigmarole of teaching them how to clear cache. It's just right there.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is, I think, a feature that people don't really, it's not been highlighted, and I haven't heard a lot of people using it yet. But there's this thing here called quick forms. And what I love about this, this is my solution to not having, so I'll just show you what I do here. So when I go in my group, I used to have a Chrome extension that would scan for the member requests and the emails, and it would then copy paste, and it would, send it all to HighLevel.
Right.
And that got kind of old for me because it was so slow. It would bog things down, and I would constantly have to disable the solution or the Chrome extension. So what this does is it lets you basically pin any form. So you can quickly go over here and click on your form and open it in the sidebar or in the pop-up or in a new
Wow.
window. And so now if I go through here, I can be like, I can just copy this guy's name like this, say granted and approve, and then I'm done. And it's just this nice little boom. And so anywhere that you need to add something into HighLevel, you just click it, it opens slides in, and you fill it out.
Wow.
I think you didn't even know that one, right?
I didn't know that one. That's so cool.
Yeah. And you don't have to have it open a side panel. You can have it be in the pop-up up as well. So it could be like this, but for my workflow here, it's nicer to have it slide in from the
Yeah,
panel.
totally. So it's on the same screen. Yep.
Yeah,
Not clicking in and
exactly.
out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the last thing on the quick editor is just that you keep seeing this default to this search bar, and I'll show you what that is. You can change where it goes, by the way. You don't have to default to search. But the search bar is so great because it shows you your open tabs. That's the first thing. So you can see I have all these tabs open for that are high levels. And so I can switch to them. I can also switch to, well, this is an unlocked version that normally it's locked to your white label,
Yes.
but mine is special because it's unlocked to all these other things. But the way it would normally work is uh it would be locked to this, you wouldn't see that. And then you can then select the location that you're going towards, and it suggests where you want to go. So you can say like, I want to go to the phone settings, and it'll tell you, okay, so this is where you want to go, and you can open it in a new tab or go to the right place.
Does this replace the search that's in our the search that the agencies have had for their search?
It's a dupe. It's so what's smart about it is it actually uses your browser's history to find the suggestions.
Got you.
So what's great about that is it respects what the user has permissions to, because it's only going to surface things that they actually have access to.
Okay. So that's great. And if they have never searched, if they've never gone there, like in their GHL and they're like looking for maybe communities or something, but they've never clicked on it, would it
Yeah,
find that, or is it only going to what's in the history?
only going to what's in the history,
Okay.
because
Okay.
uh it's this is sort of like, how can a Chrome extension figure out what to expose and not expose, because you don't
Got it.
want people, going, what's this AI studio, and they know they don't have access to it, and
Yeah.
sometimes hiding it. Then like you can get to places in HighLevel because they're just hiding the link, right? So
Yeah.
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 So
So one last question for you
yeah.
before you run. I know you have another meeting to get to.
Yeah.
Is what is coming soon with the editor that is for agencies?
Editor for agency.
The quick editor is now going,
Oh
there's
yeah,
one
yeah,
going to be.
yeah.
Mhm.
Where we're going with this. So, uh, I've always had the vision of having an offshoot of the quick editor, and uh, you'll see I kind of packed everything that like I personally like to use into this quick editor, like the screenshots and the QR code. And I'm literally using the quick editor every day in my vibe code workflow. And I'd love to get into my vibe code workflow at another time
Ooh,
and show you
yes,
some.
yes.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm using it every day with my workflow, and I'm starting to pack everything into it. But I was like, some of the things that I'm trying to that I want to use aren't necessarily appropriate for white label high level users, right? That you're giving to all of your users, and they're more appropriate for power high level users. And so I'm building a new Chrome extension as an offshoot of the quick editor. It gets everything that the quick editor has and more. And it's more targeted for people that are in HighLevel, working with HighLevel every day, and are like power users. And so I'm calling it the Account Toolkit. And it's going to have everything that you might need to document, to to be able to debug things. And so the first things that I have, and I'm not going to necessarily demo some of this stuff, but the quick editor has a workflow analyzer. And what this lets you do is it lets you download the data from your workflow and bring it into ChatGPT or Claude or
Wow.
another AI and document it for your internal documentation. And we have prompts that help, get you started on it. But internal documentation or sending, a summary to a client as to what you built and things like that. Or, like I use it myself when I'm trying to figure out some contractors have built out these massive workflows. I'm like, okay, read through this, give it to AI and figure it out. But when this was first, being promoted, people were saying, how can I have AI change it and then re-upload it? And
Yeah.
so that's what the Account Toolkit's going to let you do. So it's going to let you download it as well as upload it back and do that. We also have the ability to clone forms and surveys and actually even clone websites and funnels. And so all of that is coming to it. And more importantly, we actually even have inspector tools. So you're going to be able to pull up any HighLevel page and use the Account Toolkit to inspect to see how they built it. So you don't need to
Wow.
your system, but you can at least use it to go through it as if you're in the page builder and look at the pieces of their funnel to see how they built it and things like that. So it's basically going to be all these sort of like cool tools that people that are pros would actually find useful. And
Amazing.
that's what I'm excited about on that.
I am sure there are so many agency owners where their minds are just spinning with ideas about this. And I can't wait for it to come out for you to share all the details with us. So thank you so much for coming on. So next week, we'll have more because there's so much
Yeah.
more that you haven't shown us.
Yeah, we have this huge list of things that we wanted to talk about and couldn't get to it. Right. I like
So
the length of this one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So thank you so much. And we will see you guys next time.
Awesome. See you guys.